妻子和丈夫赌气离婚，3个月后发现自己挣不到钱就后悔了，找到丈。
The wife and husband had an argument and got divorced. 3 months later, she realized she couldn't earn any money and regretted it. She went to find her husband to ask for a reconciliation, only to discover that he was planning to marry someone else. The ex-wife was furious and directly called her husband a scumbag. I didn't see where you are now. I really don't like you. To be honest, I can't make any money. It was always my wife who handled everything. I didn't give a single penny. But your wife was really good to you, though. My wife. Well, we got divorced, but we just ended up separated. Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Connecting with viewers across the world is a huge source of inspiration for us.
李玉梅找到调解员诉苦，说自己之前是被丈夫一家赶出了家门，现在自己。
Li Yume sought help from a mediator, complaining that she had been driven out of the house by her husband's family. Now, her life had become problematic because she discovered that she could no longer earn money. Previously, her husband had earned money for her to spend. Li Yume said that she and her husband once ran a grocery store in the town. Though their life wasn't rich, it was decent. However, 3 months ago, she and her husband had a quarrel and went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get a divorce. During the divorce, they transferred the house under their names to their son. Recently, someone informed her that her ex-husband was planning to remarry, and the wedding house was the house they had transferred to their son. This news made Li Yume extremely angry. In her view, her ex-husband wanted to occupy their son's house, and she felt the need to stand up for her son. Otherwise, what would happen to her son's house? She visited the house and found that her ex-husband had already renovated it. Next, he planned to move in for his marriage. To protect her son's house, Li Yume repeatedly contacted her ex-husband, telling him not to move in, but he flatly refused. Realizing that she couldn't stop him, Li Yume decided to move in herself, but she was thrown out by her ex-husband. Left with no choice, Li Yume sought help from the mediator, hoping to stop her ex-husband from moving in. At the new house, Li Yume, along with the mediator, arrived at the place where the water meter was installed. Li Yume said that in order to prevent her from moving in, her ex-husband had cut off the water pipe. When they opened the door, they saw new furniture inside. Li Yume mentioned that she had barely secured a room, but her ex-husband had isolated it. The room's access to other areas had been completely blocked by walls. Li Yume called her ex-husband, urging him to come over and resolve the issue that day. Her ex-husband arrived 30 minutes later. Tired of his ex-wife's constant troubles, he said that he had already had enough. When confronted by his ex-wife's accusations, he explained that he intended to use the house for his marriage and that he had personally renovated it and bought the furniture. However, he didn't want to live with Li Yume. When they divorced, their assets had been divided, including custody of their children. He took their son, while Li Yume took their daughter. They had been getting along peacefully, but now that he was getting remarried, his ex-wife was obstructing him. He questioned whether she didn't want him to marry. To him, it felt like his rights were being violated, as Li Yume was trying to move in, and once the renovations were done, she was determined to move in by any means. He believed that her concern for their son was just an excuse to cover up her desire to take the house for herself. Li Yume, however, rebutted. She said that she wanted to move in because she feared her ex-husband would take over the house. Additionally, she wanted to ensure that her son would receive better care. Although their son had been given to the father for custody, as his biological mother, she still had the duty to care for him. During Li Yume's speech, her mother-in-law, who had been silent all along, spoke up. She said that her daughter-in-law was just making unreasonable trouble. The new daughter-in-law, although not the biological mother of the grandson, was very good to him and treated him as her own child. Everyone could see that. Li Yume then retorted, saying that no matter how good a stepmother was, she could never compare to a biological mother. This portion seems to continue with a series of numbers, likely placeholders or a transcription error. If you need further assistance with those, let me know.
意见表示，李玉梅完全不像是一个成熟的人，虽然自己和她
Why does it feel better after the post-editing? It was during the 4th day of post-editing that he decided he wanted a divorce. If you want a divorce, you should leave him too. Divorce, divorce. What exactly is he like in my house? The opinion was also expressed that even if she's a stepmother, even if she's not taking good care of things as Lee Yume claimed, he and Lee Yume are already divorced. Lee Yume has no reason to interfere with his life anymore. He hoped Lee Yume would keep her distance and not disturb his life. If he stays here and Lee Yume moves in too, then he, his ex-wife, and his current wife would all be living in the same house. What is that supposed to mean? Lee Yume is purely here to cause trouble, trying to ruin his marriage. Seeing that her ex-husband wouldn't let her move into the new house, Lee Yume's emotions started to break down. She directly threw all the wedding items that her ex-husband had bought into the hallway. But doing this only angered her ex-husband and mother-in-law completely. The mother and son forcefully pushed Lee Yume, trying to throw her out of their house. However, Lee Yume refused to be kicked out like that. She repeatedly rushed into the house and finally threw a tantrum, lying on the floor. Her ex-husband and mother-in-law were also helpless. The mediator stepped forward to persuade them. In the end, both sides calmed down because things need to be resolved somehow. The opinion expressed that Lee Yume completely didn't seem like a mature person. Although they had been married for 15 years, those 15 years were not happy for him. Lee Yume never fulfilled her responsibilities as a mother and daughter-in-law. She was extremely willful and never considered the feelings of the entire family. At home, she was very headstrong, and she didn't get along well with relatives and neighbors. She often argued for no reason, and many times it was just unreasonable tantrums. He had endured a lot of this. Whenever he didn't comply with her wishes, she would threaten him with divorce. In the end, he was forced to agree to her request for divorce. After saying all this, he locked the door and left. If you're still watching, comment 1 so I know you're still with me.
那么，李玉梅真的像意见说的那般，而这次的离婚。
So, is Lee Yume really like what the opinion said? And was it Lee Yume who initiated this divorce? The mediator randomly asked a few neighbors downstairs, and they told the mediator that the opinion person was honest, hardworking, and diligent. But his wife, Lee Yume, was the opposite. Lee Yume was often unreasonable and would cause trouble even when she was in the wrong. She frequently argued with the neighbors, and many people didn't want to talk to her. She liked to find fault with others over trivial matters. The neighbors around them were very jealous of him. Based on this, the mediator got a general understanding of the situation. In the shop that Lee Yume rented, the mediator asked her why she wanted to divorce the opinion. Lee Yume complained to the mediator. She told the mediator that her husband was a man with a strong sense of male chauvinism. He thought that cooking and washing clothes were women's duties, but she believed that these chores should be shared by both husband and wife. However, this was not the main reason for their divorce. During their last argument, she brought up the idea of divorce, and the opinion agreed without hesitation. The next day, he went to the Civil Affairs Bureau to finalize the divorce. But in the past, whenever she mentioned divorce, her ex-husband would try to comfort her, but this time, he didn't even try to stop her. After seeing the divorce certificate being processed, she regretted it a lot. She felt that she had been too impulsive and angry, leading to this careless divorce. Later, she found out that only 3 months after their divorce, the opinion was planning to remarry. So she felt that he had intentionally pushed her to file for divorce, and then he went ahead and married another woman. Now, it seemed her guess was right. Since she wasn't happy, she couldn't let him have a good time either. Lee Yume's words were quite frustrating because, in a marriage, it's not just one person's responsibility. A home requires 2 people to manage it together. If one party always brings up divorce over time, who wouldn't get tired? The next morning, the mediator contacted the opinion to inquire about the house. Lee Yume's point was that this house was originally their joint property, but they later gave it to their son. Now, the opinion wanted to use it as his new home. Was that
意
appropriate?
见则表示自己要结婚和这套房子完全没关系。
The opinion stated that his decision to marry had nothing to do with the house. He renovated the house because he intended to live there for the convenience of taking care of his son. But once the house was renovated, Li Yume insisted on moving in as well, claiming that she also wanted to take care of their son. Li Yume, in response, said that the house should not be used as a marriage home. If he wanted to get married, he should rent a place and marry there. Otherwise, she would come over every day and cause trouble. Since they were both the parents of their son, if the father could live there, why couldn't the biological mother? Alternatively, they could just divide the house with a wall, each having half. The opinion felt helpless about his ex-wife's demands. He explained that the house only had one kitchen, and living together would be inconvenient and awkward. Li Yume didn't seem to care, she just didn't want him to remarry. She insisted, "This is my son's house. Why should your son's house be used for your marriage?" She added, "Even if I haven't thrown him a celebration yet, what if my son doesn't want to live here? What then?" She argued that she should live in the house with their son, and he shouldn't bring another woman to live there with him. After a long pause, the opinion said that since both of them wanted to take care of their son, they should see who their son preferred to live with. If their son preferred to live with his mother, then she could move in. But if he wanted to marry, he would rent a place for his marriage. The mediator did not fully agree with this plan, as it was too childish. The conflict between the adults shouldn't be put on their child to choose between them. For the child, this was indeed too cruel. However, since both spouses had decided this course of action, the mediator had no choice but to respect their decision. The group went to the school where their 13-year-old son studied. After hearing about the parents' conflict and disputes, the son expressed that he would prefer to live with his mother. The moment the son spoke, the opinion's face immediately changed. Li Yume, on the other hand, was very pleased, as she saw herself as the victorious party. In the end, the opinion said that he would find a new place as soon as possible and move the furniture out. He also hoped that this matter would end there and that Li Yume would respect some boundaries, not disturbing his future life. He hoped they could respect each other so future encounters wouldn't be awkward. Modern life in China is changing rapidly, but traditional family values remain a solid foundation that helps maintain social stability. According to data from the National Bureau of Statistics of China, the divorce rate in China has doubled over the past 2 decades, from 1.5 million couples divorcing in 2000 to over 4 million in 2020. This indicates that a significant number of family relationships are facing difficulties, and the loss of family values could be a key factor contributing to this trend. Life in China is witnessing profound changes in personal relationships, but perhaps it is time to return to the beautiful traditional family values, where unity and mutual support are essential for a sustainable society. With the rapid changes in society, can traditional families still hold the same importance as before? Do you think family will remain a key factor in maintaining social stability? Are financial demands in marriage in China, such as dowries and strict financial conditions, turning marriage into a transaction rather than a true emotional connection? Divorced women, 9 out of 10 will eventually regret it. Because after all the picking and choosing, they still end up thinking their ex-husband was the best. But by then, there's no going back. Either the ex-husband has already remarried, or he has completely lost all feelings for her. In either case, it's impossible to go back. Why do I say this? Because in most marriages, it's usually the woman who initiates the divorce. And the reason is almost always the same. We're not compatible. I don't even know what not compatible really means. What counts as compatible? There's no such thing as two people whose personalities match perfectly in this world. It's always about mutual understanding and compromise. Besides, when you first got together, you never mentioned anything about being incompatible. So why is it, after marriage, everything suddenly becomes not right or doesn't fit? Marriage isn't like dating. A man has to make money and support the family. How could he possibly spend every day circling around you, sweet-talking you with baby this and honey that, right? Before we dive into all of this, let us know in the comments where you're watching this video from. Connecting with viewers across the world is a huge source of inspiration for us. Marriage is the union of two families, not just two people being together. It's not that simple. When getting married, you have to think it through carefully. Ask yourself, am I truly ready and determined to spend a lifetime with this person? If you're not, or if you're unsure, some people even go into marriage already thinking, if it doesn't work out, I'll just get a divorce. If that's your mindset, then I suggest you don't get married at all. That's way too rash. No wonder people say that relationships today are like fast food. Unlike our parents' generation, when problems arose in their relationships, the first thing they thought about was, how do we fix this? It's like a piece of clothing. If the zipper breaks, you replace the zipper. If the pocket tears, you sew it up. You don't just throw it away. But people today, they just toss it out. If shoes are broken, they toss them too. They never think, how can I repair this? Love works the same way. When problems happen, you should first think of ways to fix and repair it, not immediately jump to the word divorce. If you're constantly threatening divorce at every bump in the road, then tell me, how far do you think that relationship can really go? Especially some women, they've drunk too much of that so-called chicken soup for the soul online. And then, they start picking on their husbands. No matter what he does, it's just wrong in their eyes. I've even seen some women say, I married him, gave birth to his child, worked like a slave in this house. What did I get in return? When I hear that, I just laugh. What do you mean you gave birth to his child? Isn't the child yours too? Isn't this home also yours? Don't be so quick to shout about getting a divorce. You think divorce is as simple as throwing up your hands and walking away? That life will magically get better? Let me tell you, divorce doesn't always make things easier. Sure, at first, it might feel freeing. But as time goes on, you'll realize life actually gets harder. Especially during holidays and festivals. That feeling of loneliness in your heart, it'll hit even harder. If your own family doesn't welcome you back, the pain will be even worse. You'll have nowhere to go. Even if they do welcome you, you'd better check if you have any brothers. If you do, then start praying. Pray that your sister-in-law or your brother's wife won't give you attitude. Even if your parents feel sorry for you, it won't help. If your presence as their unmarried daughter causes fights between the couple in the household, then let me ask you, can you really keep living there? Of course not. You definitely won't be able to stay, right? Now, if your husband is drinking, whoring, gambling, beating you, and won't even give you money to raise the kids, then yes, you can leave him. No one would blame you for that. If you're still watching, comment 1 so I know you're still with me. But if your husband doesn't have any of the problems mentioned above, if it's just that you feel he doesn't care about you, that you feel he's not good enough, yet in reality, he hasn't mistreated you in life, takes responsibility for the kids and the family, and has no bad habits, then that's enough. That's what real life is. Be content, and you'll be happy. After all, TV dramas and novels are just beautiful fantasies made up by authors. There's no such thing as a perfect partner. Just watch them for fun, they're fake. The toxic chicken soup online is always urging you to get divorced. But if you do leave and your life falls apart, will those people take responsibility? You really need to think twice. If even a partner like that doesn't satisfy you, and you want to throw it all away and divorce, then trust me, there will come a day when you'll cry. Don't be silly, creating drama every single day. If one day you push your husband too far and he leaves for real, you'll finally regret it. Do you agree with me? If you do, drop the word agree in the comments section. From the bottom of my heart, I want to say this to all my fellow women. Sometimes, you need to take a hard look at that so-called best friend beside you. If every time you vent about your little troubles in life, she's not encouraging you to fix things. If her first response is always, divorce him, your husband's no good, then I suggest you stay far away from her. She's definitely not happy in her own life. If she were truly happy, would she be so quick to tell you to get divorced? Let's be honest. She just can't stand to see you happy. Be careful of people like that. Don't be so naive. In the end, she might even steal your husband. And then you'll really be left stunned. So cherish the life you have right now. Today, in China, the divorce rate has skyrocketed. According to data from the Ministry of Civil Affairs, over 3 million couples divorced in 2023, and the number continues to rise each year. Meanwhile, the marriage rate has plummeted, especially in major cities like Shanghai and Beijing, where more and more women are reluctant to get married, and men are also losing interest in traditional marriage. This is a deeply alarming reality about life in China today. In a society where everyone chases personal desires, glorifies absolute individual freedom, and treats marriage like a product that can be returned at any time, where is it heading? We are gradually losing our core values: family, gratitude, and sacrifice. It is time for both women and men in China to reflect. Life in China once upheld moral principles, respected parents, and valued commitment in marriage. That was the foundation of a stable and fulfilling society. Have you ever been encouraged by friends or so-called besties to get a divorce? How do you feel about it now? Do you think many divorces in China today are actually driven by fantasies created by social media and romantic dramas? Leave a comment below and join the discussion. Don't forget to subscribe to China Social Trends, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos, and thank you for watching till the end.